Yes. All right. So welcome once again to our Gut and Menopause webinar. I have Dr. Shri Lakshmi Desiraju today, who is the co-founder of AA Probiotics. Other than that, she's a wonderful human being. And the reason why you should listen to her today is one, though she's a scientist and she's a PhD doctor, what I love about her is the ease, the ease and practical way she explains things that can make a difference to your life. Today's topic is exclusively on menopause. All men and women are welcome because we all need to understand what women go through during that time, and men can be supportive as well. So, this is not exclusively only for women, but for everyone. So, Shri, while I am getting the questions ready for you, would you like to quickly tell us a little bit about what they can expect from you today? And then we start.
Sure. So the reason why this topic is so important lately and why it is that people are wanting to hear more and more is because the awareness which the corporations are bringing, the awareness the society is getting into. We did not see our grandmothers or mothers complaining about menopause. We didn't even know when it came and when it went. But at the same time, I'm very sure they all suffered equally. Today, we have that bandwidth of more knowledge and access to some of these deep research things which can be actually used so that our day by day, our working is eased out. And during this period, rather than going through a turbulent period because both the gut as well as the brain gets affected, I think what we should do is we should be able to see if we can help each other and get into a place where we can give each other that comfort and that comfort zone wherein people can are able to take this stage of their lives, where mostly women, and because women, the men also, because they don't understand exactly what is happening. So I think both of them would understand more in detail as to why this stage is important and how you can sail through this stage without having to worry so much as what you would otherwise.
Brilliant, Shri. Firstly, we can't see you. We can only see a beautiful bridge behind. The bridge which connects the gut and the menopause, I am sure. So it'll be wonderful if we can have you coming live. So now that you heard about what Shri said, and that is indeed true, I should also tell you that Shri right now is in Las Vegas. It's almost evening for her. She's flown all the way from India. So you can imagine she just landed and she's taking this call. So Shri, I just can't thank you enough for your generosity and your openness to help people at any point of time. So without any delay, I'm going to shoot my first question to you, which I think is a most commonsensical question, which is, what role does gut health play during menopause? And firstly, is there a link at all?
Absolutely, there is a link. And how that happens is you could find some of the symptoms here. People who are going through it can see the symptoms and then can relate to it much better. Though this, how gut health can play a role in menopause, this is an emerging research suggesting that there is a link between the two. But it has been now proven beyond doubt that as soon as menopause starts, that is in late 40s or early 50s, the first thing which affects is that the estrogen hormone comes down. And because the estrogen hormone decline is there, that's why there are variety of symptoms that women face: the hot flashes, the mood changes, the change in the body composition. And for all of these things, gut microbiota is responsible. So it has been proven beyond doubt that gut microbiota or the gut bacteria are responsible for going through when a lady goes through a menopause. And the first and foremost thing which you have to understand is that the hormonal imbalance happens because the gut and the brain axis gets affected. Now, what does this gut microbiota actually do? Because the estrogen is less, we can see that the composition of gut microbiota itself changes. Now, once the gut microbiota composition changes, obviously it helps every aspect of health, and that is including metabolism, including immune function, including if not treated properly, then that sets in inflammation, weight management, mood and cognitive function of the person, and most important, which we do not understand, that your immunity takes a lot of toll during this time. So there is a whole bunch of things that these gut bacteria do. And the most important thing is, you need to understand gut is the only organ in your body which actually is connecting with the brain. And that's why you say, I have sixth feeling or fifth feeling that this will work or this will not work. So this has been proven without a doubt that from the gut to the brain, there is a nerve which is called as vagus nerve, which sends neurotransmitters, which sends messages at 1/100th of a nanosecond. And all these good chemicals, good feel chemicals like this, like the dopamine and all the other hormonal things, these are formed in your gut. It is not in your brain. And these neurotransmitters takes these serotonin and dopamine, they take to the brain and give the direction to the brain to be happy or to be sad or to be angry or to be whatever reason it is. So the gut has a very, very established role. Now we have figured out that gut microbiota has a very big role in menopausal condition.
Fantastic. So, Shri, what I heard you say and to summarize is one. So, all the people who are listening and the lovely ladies in the room, without a doubt, while scientific research is still going on, I think what you and I face every day is that our gut creates 100% our feelings and our moods. Remember, when you eat that one tub of ice cream that you love the most, you're happy. And, when you are angry and irritated and annoyed, even I mean, your favorite food it tastes like dust in your mouth. So I think, I don't know about scientific research and proof, Shri, but I think in our daily life, what we go through, I think what you said right about vagus nerve definitely has a connection. And I think menopause also has a lot of mood swings. So without a doubt, I think it's great for the women to know that more about the vagus nerve. And I am going to ask you a question about that. But now, since you spoke about this hormonal changes which happens during menopause, can you throw a little bit light about when does this actually start? Is it like there's a period called pre menopause and post? So if somebody has to know about their gut health, what is the kind of a timeline that they should be more cautious and focus on?
So the premenopausal stage, the premenopause has become more important than the menopause, because that is when your gut starts to give you enough indications to say that something is not right. And that might be the time that women, rather than having to just add on to their eating habits or weight management or the other things, they should also look into, is it that suddenly you are feeling irritated for some things which have been normal all your life, for some things which have been some songs which are just actually used to lift up your mood, but now they don't make you feel that happy thing. And these are the times when actually the hormonal changes happens. As soon as the estrogen is declined, the hormonal fluctuation starts. And this decline in estrogen affects the gut motility. That means these bacteria, by contraction and relaxation of the muscles in GI, which actually moves the food towards the digestive systems, some women, they in the menopausal stage, they experience changes in bowel habits such as constipation and diarrhea. So these are your first indicators when you are seeing that things are not, and this is generally beyond 40, 45 and above, but these days even 42 and 43, at that age also people are seeing it. But my point is, how do you find out whether you are coming into that stage or not? Obviously there are some blood tests which you need to do. The follicle tests are there, TFSH and TSH, not the thyroid one, the follicle test, which actually suggest whether you are at the starting of a menopause or you are at an ending of a menopause. But at the same time, a simple thing, simple the observation that some things which were lifting your spirits or you wouldn't even pay attention to are irritating you, or you are having constipation or diarrhea. And this is actually happening because of the low estrogen, and this low estrogen influences the smoothness of muscle in your gut, which might allow the alteration in the GI mobility and motility or mobility. And that is the reason you will always see that you will have some problem or the other when the food moves through your digestion, either in the form of constipation or in the form of diarrhea. Now, second thing which actually is very important, why gut and estrogen or gut and hormones are apart from the gut-brain axis, is that we see that hormones can influence the composition of gut microbiota. Now, less diverse gut microbiota, that means less good bacteria, then that affects your not only your digestion, but also it affects your immunity. Have you ever thought through COVID, why did we sail so smoothly vis-a-vis North American or European people? The reason was because our gut, especially Indian gut, has 1.3 trillion bacteria, and these are the number of bacteria which everybody has, but we have 7,000 species. And just imagine that heterogeneity of the species, if it is reduced, because we have, so you might give thanks to that pani puri wala who was on the road and you ate once in a while. Of course, you will get 85% good bacteria and 15% bad bacteria, thanks to pani puri wala. But at the same time, you also have diverse bacteria in your system. And when you see that these diverse bacteria are coming down in number, which does happen during menopause, is when you see fluctuation not only in hormone but also in immunity. And if immunity is gone unchecked, then Vanitha, it ends up into inflammation, and which is a bigger problem that you have to deal with.
Completely
Forget
agree.
about
That's true, Shri. I totally. In fact, I think in this last few minutes, you literally have rattled us up in telling that, hey, women and ladies, one, don't take this pretty lightly, and secondly, don't feel shy. I think one of the things I genuinely loved what you said, and I'm going to give a name to it, Shri, is being more self-aware, aware of your body, aware of your mood. Because as women, I think most women in the world, I think it's just, I don't know whether it's genetic or is it natural. We tend to always place others ahead of us, including our family, and we actually always take a backseat. But I think this is a beautiful invitation, firstly, to put yourself first, at least now to know your own body. What is your body talking to you? What is your moods talking to you? Are you even aware of all these? And if you are, then it is time to know that there's some changes happening that you should be aware. And it is always a good idea to go and explore a medical test like follicle test, which Shri said, or even better, just connect with Shri or Vanitha or High5Retreats, just have a conversation. I also really like what you said, Shri, is about so many changes. So what I realize is menopause is just not one phase. It has such diverse effect on your entire body and your emotional state. So keeping that question in mind, Dashri, I want to ask you, what are some of the common gut related issues or symptoms that women face? One, I heard you say about diarrhea, about constipation. I also heard that, if it is not untreated, if it is not treated and we leave it go, it will also lead into bigger problems like inflammation. But are there any other signs or symptoms that we should be careful about?
absolutely. So the first signatures, and that's very, very well told, Vanitha, that you should be self-aware. Just see if you are finding some of these symptoms during as you come nearing 45, and if you are, then these are your first symptoms to understand where things are going to change for you. First is constipation. The other one is diarrhea, bloating. Every
Oh,
single women I hear, they say we have bloating because hormonal changes and alteration in gut bacteria can lead to bloating and gas. And this can be uncomfortable. And what do you do? When you have this bloating, you take all kinds of digestive aids which are available in the market. be it Digenes, or be it the Enos, be it the Cokes, and be it the sodas. What do you do with that? Yes, that bloating comes down. Yes, you feel gas is reduced. But do you understand that that acid is required for you to digest your food? You are reducing that acid. And when the acid is reduced, then the small intestine is now free. This acid not only digests your food, which is actually natural in your body, this acids also has a major role in reducing the bad bacteria growth in your small intestine. And now when you are played with it by taking all kinds of digestive aids, you are basically inviting yourself to heartburns. You are inviting yourself to condition called GERD, which is gastroesophageal reflux, or acid reflux, that is easily called. So you are, when you are taking this digestive aids, you are not understanding where this problem has started and why it is to be treated in the way that it has to be treated. If you take any of these digestive aids, you are actually inviting bigger trouble, because now your small intestine doesn't have so much of acid, and that invites bad bacteria invasion in your small intestine, which results in a bigger bloating and a bigger gas formation. So
Ouch.
so one leads to another. When you have these kind of irritable bowel syndrome, that is another one where you feel it is a psychosomatic. You feel like going to the washroom, but you are not able to clean your bowel. Let me tell you, ladies, here, if your gut bacteria are in good number, and if your gut is a healthy gut, you should take less than 15 seconds to empty your bowel every morning. If you are
Wow.
not doing that, if the time that you take to put a lace on your shoes, if you are taking more than that, then there is a problem which we are seeing. Our systems are very robust unless and until we totally we play with it, and sorry about the word, but literally screw it up in such a way that one leads to another.
Mm.
And that's why diarrhea, constipation, bloating, irritable bowel syndrome, heartburns, acid reflux, IBS or IBD, food sensitivities, some food you are not able to eat suddenly, which otherwise you were able to eat. All these things are all these things are the reasons that you should be looking for, or symptoms you should be, not reasons, symptoms you should be looking for when you are turning 45 and above.
Sure. Thank you very much, Sri. So I also heard that, there are a lot of simple things that you've told us that we can remember on how we are going to use it. I also have another question on uh, it's like when you told about this bio, which is in the biome in our gut, that reminded me of a garden. Like if you have a garden at home, it's like you have so many different flowers and so many different, sometimes we also have weeds which support the flowers. So in my head, microbiome in our gut is just like a garden, which needs to have different varieties of species that will actually make the garden look beautiful and our gut look healthy. So now that we understand that in menopause there is no other choice because estrogen goes down and that is very natural.
Yeah.
Probiotics or supplements aid in maintaining this good gut health during menopause. And I also have Aparna in the room today who says she has menopausal symptoms, but she doesn't have any problem with digestion. So should she also take probiotics or prebiotics? Can you just give us some light on that part, on supplements and probiotics?
So yes, Aparna and the other ladies in their room, probiotics are nothing but good bacteria. In your system, you need to keep 85% of good bacteria and 15% of bad bacteria will always be there. Let me assure you, you cannot have 100% of good bacteria. It's not possible only because of the food that you are eating itself has become less nutritional and has lot of contaminations, adulteration. So you will always have. But as long as you have maintained this percentage of 85 to 15, I think you have done a good job for yourself. And once you have done that good job for yourself, it will help you going forward when you have to deal with a condition like menopause. But if you have not been able to, and it's not your fault, if you have not been able to do that particular thing, then yes, absolutely right. Probiotics are required. It is irrespective of bowel menopause or not, Vanita. we need to keep our probiotics in that 85% higher level. And for that percentage, we need to keep using probiotics as a supplement every 6 months. If you are able to maintain that number of 85 to 15 or 75 to 25, then all you have to do is every 6 months take 1 or 2 months of supplements, so that it just tops it up, so that you don't have to worry about it when you really need it and then run after it, because things take time to come back to normal. And that's why it is better that even if you feel that your gut is doing good and all the symptoms are there which says that gut is doing good, it doesn't hurt these days to take a probiotic supplement at least once in 6 months. And if you do not, why we have to take suddenly? Why our ancestors never told us to eat bacteria? The reason is that the food you're eating is so less nutritional, one, for yourself, plus the fiber is not there in your food, which is the food for the probiotics, that is called prebiotics. So both are missing. And if both are missing, the only way you can deal with it is to top it up when you are healthy and when you are happy.
That's so true, Shri. I like the way you said about, making it a lifestyle habit. In fact, that was my next question to you about, lifestyle. While I'm going to come there, let me summarize what you said. So for all the lovely people who are listening there in our Facebook and also in the room today, probiotics is just not for menopause. It's actually for everyone, because like Shri said, do you know whether your gut has 85 good bacteria and 15% bad bacteria? Because that is how the percentage you need to have. And one of the ways to ensure that we have that percentage for a very healthy life is having probiotics. And I think if you really want to know much more about it, maybe we will just have another webinar only on probiotics, because Shri is the expert in probiotics. She's been doing research for more than 13 years. She has a factory near Mysore called AA Probiotics, and nobody better than her can tell us. Maybe next time, Shri, I'm going to come to your factory, have a walk the talk tour on probiotics, and let's do a webinar live for all our audience. But while we are there, thank you very much for sharing light on that. I do take your probiotics every day, so I know the importance of that, and with my family as well. My next question is, other than probiotic, is there any lifestyle changes that women should be doing, which I'm sure is going to enhance their menopausal time?
Yes, there are a couple of things you need to do. So first and foremost, do a dietary change. Try to take more of fiber intake. Because if anything else you will do, if you're not taking probiotics, at least the good bacteria which are already present in your system, they will get enough food that they multiply. So each bacteria has only 12 hours or 14 hours to live. But by that time, what they have to do, they have to digest your food, they have to grow, they have to make a daughter cell, or they have to replicate themselves, and then they have to leave your body and go away. So before they go away, at least they will replicate and give you enough of bacteria that your inner 85% thing which I have been telling will be managed by itself. Awesome. Take prebiotic food, take probiotic food, hydrate yourself. We are forgetting to hydrate ourselves. This is another thing which is very, very important, and especially during the menopause. Because if you do not do that, then you will be seeing a lot of changes in your body, which you will not understand how you want to take it forward or how you have to deal with it. So hydrate yourself a lot. For another thing is that adequate sleep. This is one thing that women don't understand. During menopause, at least, it is becoming more and more important. Exercise, physical exercise, which leads to your weight management, regular meals. We are very good at taking care of everybody, but we are not good at taking care of ourselves. Regular meals decide a time, and especially in menopausal time. Limit alcohol and caffeine. Please do not take too much of alcohol or caffeine during this time. Hygiene and food safety. These are the only things which will allow us to go through this period without having to worry about it.
Oh, lovely. So I'm just going to quickly summarize. So even if you missed what Shri said, I'm just going to summarize. Firstly, high fiber food. Of course, first is probiotics. Take the supplements. If you don't want to and you want to try on being on your own, then high fiber food. Hydrate yourself. Adequate sleep. Exercise. Reduce caffeine and alcohol. Not stop, but at least, reduce so that you build that bacteria in your body to help your menopause be so smooth that you wouldn't even realize that you're going through menopause. So thank you, Shri. These are brilliant, brilliant. I think while you're talking about this, I think even people who are not going through menopause, men who might be listening in our Facebook live, I think this is great thoughts for everybody for building that microbiome in our body, right? I think these are such
Yes,
commonsensical, simple things. And exclusively in Indian society, I think time and again, generations we've been taught these. So it's just that we want to move away from what we already know. But I think it's good
very
that
true.
we go back to our basics and roots. Thank you so much for that. Now, considering we have only 4 minutes left, my next question to you is what would be your one practical advice? How can women proactively take charge at their gut health as they navigate through menopause and beyond?
So for my first and foremost practical advice is be aware what is happening with your body. Once you are aware is when you can take charge of it. If you are not aware and if you are not paying attention to your body, which is telling you so many things right from morning to evening, the first and foremost, if your mouth is drying every morning, your oral microbiome are not working that much. So salivary glands are not giving you enough of saliva for them to get those things down the mouth till down into your stomach and through your digestive tract. So just each of these things, try to understand why, what is happening, why it is happening. Believe me, 12 hours of food intake, if it changes, and I'm facing it right now as I speak to you, last 12 more than 24 28 hours I have been flying. Obviously I've been eating all kinds of food, whatever is coming in my way, whatever the airline is giving, it is I'm eating that. 12 hours of different food can start giving you symptoms immediately. The gut microbiome will start to change. It is that diverse and it is so dynamic. So you need to understand that basic some things that you cannot change. Yes, I have to travel. Yes, business has to be done. Yes, things have to happen. Yes, stress will be there. Yes, I have to manage everything. But the best would be that I can hydrate myself. I can still go and walk in the aisle itself to have my bit of number of steps that I needed to do every day. Though, or otherwise, not to take so much of food which will actually make me feel more thirsty or increase my glucose glycemic index. So these are some of the small things even during travel you can do, let alone that when you are at home you can definitely manage. Stress management, yoga is done, breathing exercises are done. There's so many ways of doing those things. Today we have access to ample of things compared to what our mothers or our grannies had. So I think we are in much better stage. I don't see any reason why we cannot take one that single step. But first and foremost, if one single step, one single thing, if I have to tell Vanitha, it is that be aware of what your body is what is happening in your body and how you are seeing the change in your body.
Absolutely, Shri. Thank you very, very much for taking firstly time. Though I know you traveled all the way from Bangalore to Las Vegas and you're going to start your conference there. Firstly, thank you very much, and we wish you the best for your success out there on probiotics. And I know you're bringing so much change into this world and for better. While we just have 2 minutes, 1 minute left, I want to tell all the lovely ladies here: if your questions are not answered in this webinar today, you're most welcome to post it to us and we will write back to you. You're always welcome to connect with us. Please remember, each of us have 8,760 hours in an year. 8,760. And we are inviting you to take 72 hours out of it. That is 3 days for a retreat. That's going to be, really boosting what you do. So a lot of people ask me, why retreat? Why can't you do webinars like this and do conferences a day? Please remember, if you do whatever you're doing every day, how can you see a change? So retreat takes you away from your home environment, from your everyday job environment. Come and join us. It's going to happen in Fazlani's in Lonavala, Mumbai in January. That's purely only for menopause. But we also have other retreats at Hi5, which ensures that your gut is restored. And most important, like Shri said, it builds awareness of your body, of the food you eat, the intake of your, so 5 days, 3 days you spend with us, and that's going to help us have, you have a great gut health. So thank you everyone for joining. It's sharp 10 and we are logging off. Thank you very much for this, Shri, once again, and wish you the best. And thank you all the people who are watching us. Connect with us as www.high5retreats.com. Ciao, see you all. Have a lovely day.
Thank you so much for this wonderful session.
Thank you
Bye.
very
Thank you
much.
very much. Thank you.
Bye.